Greetings, good evening, and welcome back. Starting off another week of programming, already 10 days into the month of May, even though the past several and next several days, forecast wise, really feel anything but like that. I think we're going to make it by the end of the forecast period, or 7 day. I think we're going to finally get to the 70s, but it's at the very end. I mean, we're stuck in the 60s for quite some time, and some still very chilly air for approaching the middle of May. Nevertheless, we've got some sunshine ahead that'll help at least lift spirits a bit. And we'll talk about that towards the latter part of your program. Indictments returned by the sitting Magauffa County Grand Jury last week include charges of manslaughter as well as sexual abuse in the first degree. We'll begin covering some of those tonight. Some calls of emergency, a quick update on the Magauffa County Rescue Squad media auction, and a host of other news from around the state that impact our area or involve us to some degree. And of course, we'll talk some COVID numbers before I leave you. A new week means a new calendar and much, much more. Let's go ahead and begin with just a quick update with much more to come, maybe as soon as tomorrow, on the Rescue Squad auction. Of course, leading up to it for the past several days here on Your News Today and in the Sayersville Independent, we've reminded everyone, of course, that the auction, like everything else, got nixed last year due to COVID. This year, we knew going into it that it would be limited, in large part, because a lot of our businesses still struggling, trying to recover themselves, but many still graciously were able to donate. And in all, considering that it was a shortened auction, only lasting the first 2 nights because of a smaller number of items to be auctioned, it still turned out very, very well. I mean, to the tune of, I think, a little better than $10,000 thus far and counting. It's about half of a normal year, but we're not done counting yet. So there's still items to be picked up. You can still make donations if you would like to choose to do so, and we would graciously approve and appreciate if you did. We will have Carter with us later on in the week, maybe as soon as tomorrow, to get an update on how well it went. But once again, regardless, it was a success, thanks to all of you who watched and bid and bought, and then, of course, those who donated to the Magauffa County Rescue Squad. So an update to come a little later on. Our first headline tonight, we'll go to a single vehicle crash, this one that happened following the auction that the Magauffa County Rescue Squad and EMS and law enforcement responded to on Route 7, just a few feet outside of Royalton. Just looking back personally over the past 20 Magauffa County Rescue Squad media auction weekends, I can recall many of those weekends in which the tones summoning rescue personnel were going off quicker than they could respond, leaving a few people to stay and man the auction. Fortunately, even though it was only 2 out of the 3 days, that did not happen this weekend. And in fact, this was the only accident that came into county personnel over the course of the weekend, and unfortunately, no life-threatening injuries resulted, as this single vehicle crash happened just outside of the downtown Royalton area, if you will. There were 2 occupants in this small car, which came out of the curve on rain-slickened roads. The driver losing control, the vehicle going up onto the embankment and overturning, as you can see here. Both occupants out of the vehicle upon arrival of emergency personnel and taken by ambulance, I believe, to an area hospital. The accident reported yesterday afternoon, shortly after 3 o'clock. In recognition and honor of all of your achievements, especially your extraordinary senior year, Salyersville National Bank wants to salute the class of 2021 and assure you that wherever your next horizon leads you, we're here to help you save for your dreams with student, business, personal checking, and more. Congratulations to the graduating class of 2021 from Salyersville National Bank. Jesse Rudd and his staff at Parkway Pharmacy are proud to announce the newest member of their team, and yours, pharmacist Dustin Jones, who's actually the grandson of Janet and the late Paul Jones of Dixie in Salyersville. And his addition of over 12 years of experience in inpatient and outpatient services gives you unmatched availability and care when it comes to your health and medication.
Parkway Pharmacy, where you can always talk to a pharmacist when you need one.
TracFone has brand new deals, brand new plans, and a brand new line of phones, and Frazier's Prater Drugstore has them all, like iPhone 6S's prepaid for only $114.99. We dare you to find it anywhere any cheaper. Yes, $114.99. So stay connected, stay in touch with major savings on all new TracFone plans and devices at Sayersville's Frazier's Prater Drugstore. The sitting McGoffin County Grand Jury has returned a number of indictments late last week. I'm going to cover two of those this evening, with more to come tomorrow. Tonight's indictments include those returned in the name of two Sayersville, McGoffin County men, one for manslaughter, trafficking, tampering with physical evidence, and other charges related to the overdose death of a McGoffin County man that happened at the residence of a James Allen. The 37-year-old was indicted on a charge of manslaughter in the second degree, trafficking in the first degree, that being fentanyl derivatives, tampering with physical evidence, controlled substance endangerment to a child, fourth degree, 2 counts, and possession of drug paraphernalia. This goes back to December the 23rd of last year, just before Christmas, when authorities were called to Allen's residence here in McGoffin County, responding to an overdose situation. What authorities found when they got there was a McGoffin County man who died and had been dead for several hours before authorities and EMS had been called. In our earlier report, there was also information from authorities that indicated that the deceased body had been moved from one room in Allen's residence to another at some point after he had passed, hence the tampering with physical evidence charge. Allen was arrested shortly after, the following day, I believe, and charged with trafficking in heroin, failure to render aid, and possession of drug paraphernalia, and then later released 4 days after that. Those charges now, after a presentation to the McGoffin County Grand Jury by Kentucky State Police Officer Trooper Joseph Weddington, upgraded to manslaughter in the second, and then trafficking in fentanyl after lab reports confirmed that was the drug in question. It was also reported in the initial report that authorities not only contend that Allen sold the deceased the drugs, but had also done the drugs with him, while Allen's 2 children, underage children, were in the residence as well. There were also initial reports that Allen himself overdosed after being taken to the Big Sandy jail or on his way to the jail, and had since recovered. I also have information that the investigation into Allen's drug activity continues at this time. The second of 2 indictments I'm covering tonight names Larry Martin of Gifford Road in Sayersville, the 59-year-old, indicted on account of sexual abuse in the first degree, specifically with a victim under the age of 12. The indictment simply reading that on or around the 15th day of April of 2019, to about a month later in the same year, he is said to have committed the offense of sexual abuse in the first degree with a victim under the age of 12, with no other details of the offense given. This case presented before the grand jury by Trooper Tracy Salyer of Post 9 of the State Police. Again, more indictments with as well serious charges in them starting on tomorrow's update. I'll be right back. Speedy's in Sayersville invites you to come by and get the very best prices on everything from Coke and Pepsi products. 2 15-packs, just $8.88. L81 by the 6-pack, $3.29, or get a full case, $12.50. $6 for 2 gallons of milk, mix or match. And they absolutely guarantee they have the cheapest tobacco around. The best prices on cigarettes by the carton and snuff by the roll, and the more you buy, the more you save. At Speedy's in Sayersville, the very best place to feed your appetite and fill your tank. Guaranteed. Spring is always the time for new beginnings and redecorating. or at least adding a few new favorite pieces to your home decor. And the Seasonal Shop has just finished resetting their entire home decor section with all new merchandise. It's all there. Classic favorites, new trends, and the unusual pieces that can set your decor apart from everyone else. Farmhouse, timeless blue and white pottery, natural woods, beaded accents, bohemian, bees, lemons, copper, white pottery, and equestrian. It's all there. And it's all there with local delivery, layaway, and curbside pickup. It's the only place like it. The Seasonal Shop in downtown Sagersville. Get absolutely every mile you can out of the season with great deals right now at Conley Tire in Staffordsville. Get up to $70 back on a set of new Coopers or new Hancooks, up to $120 back on new Michelins, up to $150 on new Goodyears, where you can keep your stimulus money and drive safe with 6 months no interest. At Conley Tire in Staffordsville and at conleytire.net. There's no missing that this is the new McFarland and Tinker Law Office location on the Mountain Parkway in the former Farm Bureau building in Sagersville, just like there's no denying that their nearly 60 years of legal experience has won their clients millions and millions of dollars in disability, auto accident, and wrongful death cases. It's where your case matters to you and to us. McFarland and Tinker, also Griffey approved. A few local reports that I'm working on, as well as the indictments that I mentioned a few moments ago that we'll get to starting on tomorrow night's program. Since I've got a few moments, it's not viewing area news for the most part, but tragedy in a tragic freak accident out of Estill County. A young 29-year-old son, husband, father, teacher, and coach was electrocuted over the course of the weekend. The young man with a very promising coaching career ahead of him, one that he took over from his father after retirement, was killed yesterday, electrocuted. The Estill County Engineers posting this collage in his honor on their social media page. He died last night after a flagpole in his yard fell. It fell onto an electrical wire, then hit the ground. I understand he came home, stepped out of his vehicle. The wet ground was a contributing factor as well, and he was killed in the tragic and freak accident at the age of 29. He taught math in the school district for, I think, 7 years, close to 8. This year essentially being his first season as head coach after last year or season got canceled due to COVID. He's survived by his wife, his 2 children, his family, and of course a school system and baseball team who were all in mourning of the young man. A lot of information in the COVID update coming from the governor earlier today, the easing of some more restrictions. We will be glad to pass that along to you as we are still a ways away from that 2.5 million mark to ease most all. But nevertheless, the governor speaking of that today and some big financial news as well that we'll get to in just a few moments. I'll have local Magoffin County COVID numbers for you on tomorrow. I don't have a tally from last week where I was out Thursday and Friday due to the rescue squad auction and Lacey's graduation. I do know only that there were 2 cases that were confirmed positive cases at the Magoffin County Health Department for today, and I have no other numbers from last week or over the weekend, so we'll get caught up on all that tomorrow and check in with our public health director. With that said, before we get to some state numbers, let's flip on over to tonight's Magoffin Farm Bureau community calendar, where it begins with a birthday. This came in the mail late last week. I don't have a date attached to when I'm supposed to say happy birthday, so I'm going to say happy birthday today to Junior Morgan. Junior, if this is a little late, a little early, I apologize, but nevertheless, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to Junior Morgan from a host of friends and family. Happy birthday to you. A reminder that the Sagersville High School graduating class of 71 celebrating their 50th year class reunion on June the 12th, but their next planning meeting is this week, this Friday, 1 o'clock at the Magoffin County Public Library. Sweet tater orders need to be in if you want to place them at the Magoffin County Extension Service by this Friday. 50 slips for $16, 100 for $25, all the way up to 1,000 slips for $72. No, Monday the 17th. I'm sorry, not this Friday, but next Monday the 17th, a week from today. Call the McGoffin County Extension Service. They'll get you the right information at 349-3216. That's right. Sweet potato slip order form is available right now at your McGoffin County Extension Service. Stop in at red light number 4, of course, on 114, or call him at 349-3216. And call me when you've got a calendar announcement or a birthday or an anniversary that you want everyone to know about, and I will make sure that they do. Going on, we do have funeral announcements to pass along to you this evening. First, we came in today, I did, to learn of the passing of 2-month-old Jacob Ray Dunowski, the son of Joshua Sr. and Carissa Dunowski, who passed away on Thursday of last week. Little Jacob is survived by brothers Connor and Joshua Jr. and sisters Adelia and McKenna. Funeral services are going to be held tomorrow at 1 o'clock from the White Oak Church on Grape Creek. The family will welcome friends for the rest of this evening and anytime prior to tomorrow's services. The Sagersville Funeral Home is in charge of those arrangements. 80-year-old Herbert Holbrook Jr. of Falcon passed away on a Saturday at his home, survived by his wife, Patty Conley Holbrook. He's the son of the late Herbert and Mabel Reisner Holbrook. He is as well survived by son, Franklin Ray Bailey, daughter, Tammy Salyer, 5 grandkids, and 5 great-grandchildren. As many of you know, Herbert was a U.S. Army veteran and a devout and dedicated member of the Sagersville DAV Chapter 15. Of course, we will be holding military rites in his honor after services, which are this Thursday at 1 from the State Road Fork United Baptist Church. Friends can call on the church tomorrow after 6 and all day Wednesday and up until Thursday afternoon services. 57-year-old Nanny Montgomery of Sagersville passed away Saturday. Arrangements incomplete at this time. They'll be announced soon after they are made by the McGoffin County Funeral Home. Arrangements are also incomplete at this hour for 70-year-old Hurl Wright of Paris, Kentucky, who passed away at his home, preceded in death by his wife, Gail Darlene Johnson Wright. Arrangements will be announced soon by the McGoffin County Funeral Home. And the last announcement this evening comes in loving memory on his birthday for Lindsay Wheeler. With love from Judy, Wendy, Aiden, Michael, Ty, Christy, Mike, and Levi. In loving memory.
Appalachian Wireless is proud to offer the Emergency Broadband Benefit Discount. This federal program can reduce the cost of our 25 gig unlimited plan by up to $50 a month. If someone in your household qualifies for certain government benefit programs or experienced substantial loss in income in the last year, you may be eligible. Only one discount per household, and it's only available until allotted funds run out. For more details, go to AppalachianWireless.com/EBB. We are you. We are Appalachian Wireless. Unlimited data speeds will be slowed to 512 kilobytes after 25 gig per line.
Welcome to East Kentucky's premier vape and CBD shop, offering all natural tobacco alternatives and everything vape and smoke shop related. Everything you're looking for and everything you're not. Best quality, best prices, best service.
Come to Appalachian Smoke Shop for all your tobacco alternatives and accessories, as well as products like CBD, kratom, and legal THC that people are telling us they're using to treat pain, anxiety, depression, difficulty sleeping, and lack of energy, as well as just for overall wellness. Make it your one stop, Appalachian Smoke Shop.
Go with All Pro and you'll always get a perfectly finished project backed by decades of experience and thousands of satisfied customers. Always with the best prices on everything from small to large remodels, bathrooms to kitchens to entire homes, or turnkey new construction on everything from garages, homes to retail space. And seamless gutters too. And All Pro still offers 0% financing for up to 18 months and long-term low interest rates on those big projects. For an estimate, call this family-owned business today. Some pretty big news in Governor Beshear's address earlier today, not all of it COVID-related, some significant financial matters, including iPhone news. You know, if you've got an iPhone of any model as of late, there was a piece of it, one of the most important pieces made in Kentucky, and of course, speaking of the glass made in Harrodsburg, Apple's already invested on over $450 million in the Harrodsburg facility and now into Corning Incorporated specifically. And now another $45 million. Corning, which is based in New York, but they have a facility, a factory in Harrodsburg, and makes the glass for all iPhones and related devices. Well, they received a $45 million technical grant from Apple today to extend their manufacturing capacity in the United States. This will create about 1,000 additional jobs. It will also go towards research and development for some new technologies and to still increase the ever-tough glass that, of course, is the face of all of our Apple products for those of us who have them, which is a large portion of the world. Also, the governor announcing some, well, good news, explaining how about $250 million less in the American Rescue Plan Act monies that we were expecting to get for the state as a whole is actually good news.
Okay, so other indications and showings that our economy is humming. This one actually impacted us in a different way. Today, the U.S. Department of Treasury announced that Kentucky is set to receive $2.183 billion from the American Rescue Plan Act of 2021 for the Coronavirus State Fiscal Recovery Fund. This allotment is a little bit smaller than what we anticipated because part of the equation in setting it was the state's economic performance, meaning how hard had we been hit versus how much had we recovered. Our overall number, 2.183, is below what we thought we'd get, 2.4, because our fourth quarter of last year, we recovered more than most states around us. In fact, I think we were in the top 7 in the way their calculations worked, and thus moved those numbers. In other words, Kentucky has recovered stronger than the federal government anticipated, faster than most, and it impacted a little bit on the dollars that will be available to us.
Some other good economic signs touted by the governor today. Sales tax receipts in the month of April were at $486.5 million. That's the biggest April total ever, he says. They were more than 40% higher. They were more than 40% higher than last April. He also said motor vehicle usage tax receipts hit over $64 million as well, another all-time record high for that type of fund. And some other big factors indicating that Kentucky's economy is recovering. As far as the coronavirus is concerned, there was some good news. Last week, the governor announcing that businesses serving fewer than 1,000 people could go from 60 to 75% capacity on May the 28th. And then today, he announced another lifting of a restriction, announcing that at the end of this month, they're ending the curfew for bars, and restaurants and bar seating will be allowed again. He did caution all related businesses to use common sense and be reasonable, saying just because you can doesn't mean you have to or should. As for COVID-19 numbers today, the case count coming in at, I think, 167, the positivity rate at 3.25%. Both still well in a plateau. We are continuing to see numbers consistent with a plateau, and that, of course, is allowing some restrictions to be made. We are still, even though we had 8,500 people vaccinated in the past 24 hours in Kentucky, we're still several 100,000 away from that 2.5 million mark. And that will leave me going to your Licking Valley RECC outlook. We are still looking at the 60s through almost the entirety of the 7-day. Fortunately, not quite. I think we can stir up some 70s and at least low 70 days, maybe by this time next week. Yeah, if these fall-like conditions are your thing, well, you're just loving this. I think you might be in a minority, but hey, that's okay. 42 degrees tonight, mostly cloudy skies, and a calm wind for the rest of your Monday. We're going to see the sunshine return in more fashion tomorrow, mostly sunny skies, and it's going to be a bit more comfortable at around 64 degrees. It was a cold start today. Clouds really keeping us in check for much of the morning and afternoon, and, still pretty heavy this afternoon and evening. Nevertheless, 64 tomorrow, mostly sunny. Nighttime lows tomorrow night are going to be into the upper 30s. I don't have any frost in your forecast as of right now. We'll talk about that, all your plants, Mother's Day vegetation. That should be all right. We'll talk about it tomorrow. And we just kind of hang there thereafter. Check it out. 62, still mostly sunny on your Wednesday after a brief break from the winds tonight and tomorrow. Well, they start to howl or pick up out of the northeast by midweek. We'll see them 6 to maybe 15 miles per hour at times on your Wednesday. Again, 62 and mostly sunny. Thursday right now is our next chance of showers, albeit a light chance of showers in the afternoon. Otherwise, mostly sunny, and you'll notice a 64-degree day for your Thursday. Still some sunshine and low 60s, getting close to the mid-range, but not quite. 43 for the nighttime low on your Thursday night. We will hit the mid and upper 60s by your Friday as a prelude to the 70s running at us for the weekend. 67, mostly sunny on your Friday. Clear skies that night. Prom in Magoffin County, I'm glad to report for all those going, will be beautiful. 71, mostly sunny degrees. That's about a perfect prom forecast as you could hope for. And partly cloudy that night and a low of 50. We'll pick it up a degree or two Saturday. 74, mostly sunny. How's 76 and partly sunny on your Monday grab you, even though it's a few days away. And that's going to wrap it up for tonight. Thanks for starting off your week with me, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow night. Again, thank you for watching.